to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Secretary, would you like to establish a quorum?
Madam President, Roy Walsh, you here?
Here.
Shane McGinn, here. Bill Hines,
Here.
Chris May, here. Sherry Russell, not here. Tom Harmon,
Here.
Brooks Marsh, yes. I think it's everybody.
All right, Tiffany Becker.
Tiffany Becker,
Here.
sorry. I had you marked as here already, sorry. Thank you, Tiffany.
All right. So as far as the secretary's report, we have the May meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the May open meeting minutes?
Make a motion.
All right,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, next up, the treasurer's report. Tom?
Well, we only have 1 month on this year so far, but it looks pretty good. We had $3,445,400 in revenue for the month. That includes all departments. And cost of sales was $13,329. Payroll was $142,000. And operating expenses was $388,618. And if anybody's watching out there, you get a copy of the POA.
Okay, thank you. Should I go ahead and, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and give an update. And what I wanna do is I wanna address the rentals, which will be an amendment. So just to kind of remind everyone, the board learned the day of the May board meeting that the quorum had finally reached the quorum. The result of the meeting, we were waiting for the quorum to be either for or against because we needed to know which DOR to amend. So once we got that information in May that it had reached a quorum, it did pass. We are now able to go and do another amendment, which will be amending the new DOR. So I just kind of wanted to refresh everyone where we are. So now that we know which DOR we're going to be amending, the board has been working with outside counsel George Nowak, who is a very respected attorney, specializes in POA legal matters, and he's currently in practice with numerous other clients dealing with these types of issues. So here's what we do now is we can do a DOR vote to address how we're going to curb rental. The vote will contain 2 questions. Both of the questions will be directly related to addressing the rental cap. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that we are looking at doing an amendment. There will be 2 questions. So let me just give you a headline why there's 2 questions. The first is there's legislation in the state of Georgia that helps define how you can enforce a rental cap. So the very first question we'll deal with how we're going to enforce it. The second one will be the tactic. Whatever we decide is the best tactic that we are coming together as a neighborhood that we want to support. In researching these tactics, we went and said, okay, now that we have the DOR vote, now that we know, the time that we can call it, that we're amending the new DOR, we went back and we said, okay, how many rentals are out there? So we know there's a certain number of rentals, there's a certain number of pending rentals, there's a certain number of people that have addresses that are different than where the bills are going. So we're trying to kind of cast a wide net to say what could be the possible rentals right now, and it's about 13%. So we needed to understand where we are today. So as we look to the tactics, if we're setting some type of cap or number, we need to know where our starting point is. We have reviewed various options with legal. So in the next coming weeks, we will be coming to the community with recommendations of what we want to put out there as far as a vote. So again, this will be a community vote. We'll be looking to the community. We've done a lot of research, but we want the community input first before we put it up for a vote. So again, in the next few weeks, look for some meetings that we'll be scheduling in July. And part of the reason we want to do this, we believe that if we have good upfront feedback and awareness and education, that will save more time in the back end, because this last DOR vote took a bit of time. So we're hoping by taking a little bit more time in the beginning, it'll save us time in the back end. So I guess because we don't have an interactive, we're on Zoom, I'm trying to answer some questions that I know some people will want to ask. So one is that why does it seem so complex? Well, one of the reasons it's complex is we're not just dealing with a neighborhood that has houses. It also has condominiums that have different set of rules, and we also have timeshares that have a different set of rules. So anything we come up with, we need to make sure it's working with this subset of rules and conditions that we'll be able to enforce. So another thing is the complexity around the enforcement. So we've had some calls with our outside counsel. Again, it's this George Nowak, who's an expert. He has been working with a lot of different subdivisions. And as you can imagine, a lot of people are dealing with different ways to go about this, which means there's a lot of loopholes. So he's got about a 16-page document that helps address these different types of various loopholes that people have been very creative in coming up with. So that will also be part of the vote. It'll be attached to the vote as part of the support. So we want to make sure everybody understands and we have a chance to kind of educate everyone. So I just kind of want to give that quick update. So as far as information, I just wanted to wrap up and say we've been working on this, we're researching it. We have a timeline, we want to get the vote out, targeting August. But prior to that, look for different areas that we can give further updates in more detail. So that's about it. Great. I wish there was questions, but maybe we're not. Okay. The second agenda item is the candidate announcement. So this is for the upcoming vote that will be held, that will be effective in the September board meeting. Again, there are 3 open seats, and here are the candidates that have been qualified as far as the annual election, and it's listed in alphabetical order. So it's Tiffany Becker, Lance Hirota, Shane McGuinn, Stephen Smith, Charles Swain, and Maureen Walsh. So those are the candidates that will, in the next few months, next month we'll do an introduction to the candidates, have a chance to ask questions, and then you'll be voting on these set of candidates for the 3 open positions. Okay, so with that, we've got an operation report. Allison Kennedy is currently out of the office, so Dakota is going to be giving that update.
Okay, so for this month's report, I just wanted to take a moment and update the community on a few of our active projects. The Country Club resurfacing project is currently underway. The Country Club has long needed this transformation due to the potholes and crumbling curbing, which is not only an eyesore, but also a safety hazard. In addition to the resurfacing, most of the islands will be removed and the helicopter pad will be moved to the end of the lot. This will allow for the addition of several new parking spaces. The dumpsters will also be moved onto their own pad. In addition to the regular parking spaces, several new handicap spaces will also be created, and the project is slated for completion prior to the July 4th festivities. And then the final one is going to be, as you are aware, we recently replaced the underground gas tanks at the marina with a new above ground tank. The tank is in place, however, the marina is still not selling gas. The reason for this is that the above ground tank must be signed off on by the state fire marshal. All of the paperwork has been submitted, and we are waiting for the stamp of approval before gas can be sold. We are on their timeline, and unfortunately, it could be a couple more weeks before we receive the approval. We do apologize for any inconvenience that this has caused our voters.
Ayers Creek Court has been paid.
And Ayers Creek Court has been paid.
Okay. Anything else? Good.
No, that's it.
All right. Moving down the list, we've got lot management. Lot management has a sale on 1384 Lakeview Parkway, Do I have a motion to approve the sale of 1384 Lakeview Parkway?
I make a motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. So as far as the committee reports, we won't do another quarterly committee report until July, so look for more news next month. So at this point,
Can I say something
Yeah.
though? I'm sorry. I'd like to say that July 4th is upon us and that fastidious weekends. And I would like to offer to see if anybody would be willing to volunteer at some point during that weekend. So if you are interested in doing any kind of volunteering, I don't need a lot of people, but just, you know, a few more hands would be helpful. You can contact the POA, sorry, Dakota, and he will take your name and number, and then I will personally call you. And so we have a lot of great things planned for the 4th of July holiday. We have some old things that were that are favorites, and then a new ski show, which we're all excited about. So be prepared to start watching for announcements, because Monticello will be closed during the parade, the land parade. And then there's going to be a portion of the lake that's going to be shut down as well. And it's very, very, very important that everybody take caution for that weekend on the lake during that ski show, so that we don't want to have any injuries. Everybody that's performing in the ski show are our friends and our neighbors, and some of them are very small children. So we want to make sure that everybody has their thinking caps on that weekend and doesn't do anything crazy. So please be careful of that and watch for any signs. We're going to be shutting down the marina, the boat docks and stuff like that. So there's a specific time, you're going to be all well aware, and we're going to blast you with announcements from here until 4th of July. So be looking for that. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. That's it. Thank you.
any other updates before we adjourn and take questions?
No, just to repeat what Tiffany was saying, we're gonna have a volunteer in boats cordoning off certain areas of the lake, so be sure that you pay attention to them as well.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right. Okay, at this point, we'll go ahead and take some questions. I think we've got a question from Bill Knight. So Bill, can you hear us?
He's on silent over there.
Hold on, we're trying to. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear
Hey,
you.
Bill.
First of all, I want to thank Allison and for sending out the notices that tonight's meeting would be only on mine of Friday and today. And then the other thing is, I just had a question. Did you establish a quorum for tonight's meeting?
Yes.
We did.
Okay, I didn't see that part of it.
It could have been a little delay in the connection, but we tried to start right on time. We were actually at 7:31.
Okay, well, I saw some of the pre-meeting discussion as well, so I was on there. I just maybe
Okay.
looked away or talked to my family. So, okay, great, thank you.
Okay,
have one more.
all right, we've got one more question.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Reggie Coachman, and I'm a new resident homeowner. And I had a question regarding amenities. And I noticed that there is not a workout or gym at the country club and or the recreation center. Is there plans or any reason why an amenity like that has not been added to the community?
Does anybody mind if I start?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so we are gathering funds to build a new rec center over where the current rec center is. And we have not finalized all the plans. We did send out a questionnaire about amenities that people in the neighborhood would be interested in. And that is at the top of the list is a workout facility. And so it's in the plans. We've got to make sure that we can get it cleared. We want to make sure it's safe for everybody. We're going to try and figure out how we're going to do it, but we have not made any final decisions, but it's definitely in there. I'm sure we're going to be having meetings once the plans for the rec center are, starting to be finalized. I'm sure we're going to have some meetings and get some more input from the neighborhood about what they would like to see in this new rec center.
Let me add to that. We're in the midst of a 5-year strategic planning process. Because as you might guess, there are a lot of our current amenities need to be improved. And we have other responsibilities with our dams, fire department and all those things. And so this will fit right into us saying not only what will we get, but when will it happen and how will we fund it? So that's part of a great process we're in the midst right now. We appreciate your question, and we're excited about looking forward and giving you guys a plan for our community.
Welcome to the community.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, and thanks for your update.
Anybody else?
That's-
All right. We don't have any more questions, but thank you for tuning in
Thank you.
and understanding that it needed to be a Zoom meeting because of the voting that's taking place tomorrow and that we don't have access to the room. So thank you everyone for being flexible.
Thank you.
Good job.